Kilimanjaro.
Mount Kilimanjaro, the tallest mountain in Africa and the 7th tallest mountain in the world.
Kilimanjaro is just under 6,000 meters. It's said to be the highest single standing mountain in the world. There are many peaks which are much higher, but standing alone, it's the world's highest mountain.
My name is Zahir Khan, and myself and a number of my friends, colleagues and other volunteers of Islamic Help will be climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in February 2012.
My name is Abdul Rahman.
My name is Sadak Iqbal.
My name is Ayan Hubsi.
My name is Kamal Hussain.
My name is Raja Siddiq Khan.
My name is Asad Jalil Ahmed.
My name is Mohammed Naeem.
My name is Ahab Musa.
Fatima Speech Therapist. My name is Tahira Rita Bacon.
My name is Noor.
My name is Raja Pravez Khan.
My name is Kashif Khan.
Volunteers from Islamic Help must raise money which will go towards whichever cause they choose.
I'm raising the money for my country, Somalia.
Raise awareness for children in Africa and aid in Africa in general.
And I'm raising the money for our winter warmer packs.
I'm raising money for the Smiles Better campaign.
Which is raising funds for women that suffer from acid burn attacks.
For the children that have a cleft lip, for the operation to be carried out for them over in Pakistan.
It's for the orphans in Dar al-Fadila.
The rebuilding of Dar al-Fadila in Gaza.
I've chosen to donate to orphans.
Be for orphans around Africa.
To raise as much money as I can for orphans in Palestine.
For the orphans of the world.
To raise money and awareness for orphans in Africa.
For orphans around the world. I'm looking to raise money for an orphan, and it's a particular orphan in Pakistan by the name of Hamad.
It's a good cause. It's going to make a difference in people's lives.
The team have arrived in Tanzania and get a briefing on what to expect on the climb.
So, about 6 hours walking tomorrow, and while I'm on that sort of time estimate, I think you can safely say the first 3 days reckon on about 6 hours walking each day. The great majority of people have a wonderful few days, and people are on a kind of a natural high when they come down, you know. You will have done something tremendously challenging, but I think you'll find that it was very, very worthwhile.
We're taking the Mashami route, which is one of 6 routes that's available to us. The Mashami route is quite scenic, and it's also one of the most difficult routes that's available as well, so it does have its challenges. We'll be stopping overall at 6 different camps.
The great difficulty of climbing Kilimanjaro is coping with the altitude. As they get close to the summit, they are going to transit through an altitude where they're only going to be getting about half the oxygen that they're used to. And so it's naturally going to be an exhausting experience, physically and mentally and emotionally.
We're here to raise money, we're here to raise awareness, we're here to help people. And by reaching the top, it will allow us to do that.
Knowing that when I've got there, that all this money that we've collected is going towards the orphans, you know, and it's going to benefit children all around the world. So that's really going to keep me going.
It's just such an amazing opportunity. I think everyone's, you know, on a high and raring to go with energy.
It's the morning before the climb. With the mountain in the distance, the group pray for one final time before setting off on day 1.
Well, the first day, to be completely honest with you, it's like an introduction of what we're going to be facing. There was a lot of apexes, a lot of gradients which we were going up. And at first we thought, if this is just a taste of things to come, you know, better get prepared, better be ready.
It's the first day of the walk, and the team march through a tropical jungle to get to the first camp.
I think we were so geared up, so emotional, we had so many different feelings inside us that we were rearing to go.
Today's gradient is going to be something, I would probably say around 20 to 30 degrees. So far already we've seen it quite sort of steep. I think it's trying to get us to a good height already.
first 20 minutes, I mean, the pace that had been set by all of us, we just went charging ahead and didn't realise. After about 45 minutes, you could hear people had stopped talking a little bit, people panting, and then the terrain really started to get a little bit steep.
I think the biggest thing that we had to deal with is obviously pacing ourselves. As much as we like to, our body's trained to just go at a speed. If you see a gradient, you just want to get there as quick as you can. But they have a saying here called bole bole, which means slower, slower. You have to just let yourself climatize and do it slowly.
It's a little bit more intense than I thought it would be for the first day. We've just come up quite a steep section of hill, which was quite testing.
It was kind of a shock to my system because I ended up just feeling very dehydrated, and physically I wasn't handling it well. My crew, the people that I came with, were really encouraging and they helped me through it.
The team get through the jungle and arrive at the first camp. As the sun comes up, the group prepare for the second day's trek.
We're on day 2. Apparently we're on a 4-hour hike today, but the 4-hour it's going to be steep. So we're all trying to get ready. Hopefully we'll make it to the top.
With the mountain in the distance, the team set off on the steep trail as they face a day of changing terrains and weather patterns.
You can see that the ecosystems are changing. It's a lot of hilly, rocky terrain, you know. We've gone through a lot of difficult sort of stages where we've had to angle ourselves at particular moments.
Day 2 was different in the sense that it was a lot shorter. It was all steep, but I feel like as if I did kind of improve a little in my own fitness, so I found this a little easier.
We were climbing higher. The pathway was much steeper.
Sometimes I feel quite tired, other times I feel quite energetic. It's just pacing yourself, that's the trick. Knowing when to stop, knowing when to continue.
As the team step over the next ridge, they get a glimpse of just how high up they really are.
It's an amazing sight to see. It's amazing to know that you're so high, you're walking through these clouds. You can't actually see sort of more than about 50, 60 feet in front of you in terms of going up the mountain.
The mountain trail gets more rocky and the path provides a more treacherous route. As they approach the next camp, the day's final challenge awaits them.
We are at a point where we can actually see down where we began, and you look down and you just feel the accomplishment.
As they reach the top of the rise, they finally arrive at the day's camp. As the sun comes up over Mount Kilimanjaro, the team set themselves for what proves to be a trying day.
So this is the start of day 3. We're all just packing up now, getting ready to set off. After yesterday was quite a difficult climb, it's quite steep. We're expecting a bit of the same today. We're expected to rise to about 4,600 meters.
The trek takes everyone over a high altitude desert, and as the air thins, some of the team start suffering some adverse effects from the mountain.
It's been a very difficult 2 days, myself included. Problems obviously with the stomach, dehydration was really kicking in, not just for myself but for the rest of the team as well.
Let me breathe, man. Right, I believe we're at a height of about 4,600 meters, which is around 14,000 feet. The air is very thin up here, but just to put that into perspective, that's about the height I did a skydive from last year. So very high. I jumped out of a plane at 14,000 feet.
I'm feeling so tired. I had to climb a really steep part of the mountain. It's literally taken the breath away from me, and I've had to take it a few paces at a time. And for me, my breathing's been an issue throughout this entire trip.
Yeah, I'm just, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the effects. Today, I have to say, 3rd day in. Is it the forehead or the back?
The skull.
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
It's not really that bit, it's just on the top. Today the altitude has had an effect on everybody, I think. Some more than others.
Physically, it's not that hard.
It's not that hard. It's just been pretty much flat.
And we're walking very slowly.
We are working very slowly.
Compared to the day 1 and day 2. But it's just a headache, dizziness.
Well, the big worry right now is altitude sickness could kick in. So although they're feeling strong now, you just never know. Within minutes, it can actually kick in. You'll start feeling drowsiness. People will start throwing up. And obviously that may mean that they'll have to go all the way back down the mountain and come out of the challenge. But out of all the things that we've done over the years, this has definitely been the hardest challenge.
The mountain starts to take its toll on some of the team members as the emotions start to show.
At times I felt like giving up here. Especially last night as well, when I was shivering in my tent and I was thinking, you know, this is really, really cold. Temperatures in the minuses. All the other causes that we're supporting, the acid burns survivors, the winter warmer packs, the food packs in Africa, everything that we do, all the struggle that we're enduring, as much as we can. Inshallah, I hope people back home will understand that this isn't a holiday, this isn't just a trek, this is something serious for the life of people who are dependent on our charity.
Mentally, physically, it's been very difficult, and I think a lot of the team are now feeling it. It's day 3, still 15 members on the team. We hope day 4 still keeps 15 members.
As the group look up at the mountain in the distance, the team march on through the fog onto the next camp. The sun comes up into the valley of the camp, and as the team get ready, some bad news awaits them.
My brother-in-law's been fighting with cancer for quite a while now, and when I left him I knew he was in a fragile state and anything was possible to happen, and I was hoping for the best really, and hoping that he's got time on his hands, but I've been told that he hasn't, and he's probably not even got a couple of days left, so I've decided to leave camp and try and head back to Birmingham and spend some time with my family.
Last night was probably the worst night we've had. It was very cold. I think we saw what had been going on earlier on. Temperatures were about -5 overnight. A lot of people suffering from major headaches. And due to that, 2 of our team members have unfortunately had to go down the mountain back to safety. Really, Fatima, you were an inspiration, and Sadaq, for even making it up here.
You fought so hard to get through the first 3 days, which were incredibly difficult, and I think most people would have given up and gone home at this point, but they haven't. You know, you've got high spirits, you know, you've got that desire to complete the summit. Don't give up, take it slow, take each day as it comes, and do this, do it for yourself, do it for the people that you're raising funds for, and do it for me as well.
Today's climb, it's a 3-hour climb, so it's not so bad. It still will be difficult. I think the first hour ascending up the mountain, and it's quite a steep ascent, so I think we'll probably climb another 200 to 300 meters in that first hour.
The remaining team members set off on a rocky trail. As they pass over a ridge, their biggest challenge yet awaits them. A sheer cliff which they must scale to get to the next camp.
The actual day itself, climbing wise, was proper mountaineering kind of stuff.
And it really hit me with my fear of heights. There was one bit of the climb where we were literally hugging the rocks, and it was probably about a good 200-meter drop. And just that fear alone, it just hits you, makes your heart skip a beat.
It was quite different from anything else we've done. We've had some very, very steep ascent. Literally, we've been scaling up almost vertical walls. We've had less than a foothold to climb up.
Day 4 was a really good day for me. You know, it was a lot of proper mountain climbing, rock climbing. It was like, I like taking a risk, and it was that risk factor. You know, if you put your foot wrong at certain points, or if you slipped, you would actually be gone. There was no one standing below to catch you.
It was very, very enjoyable today. A stark contrast from the day before. So I've really enjoyed it. It's been my best day today.
Reinvigorated from an exciting day, the team cross the desert pathway and get to the next camp.
It's day 5 of the climb. We've just completed the 5th day. We're about 4,800 metres up now.
It's the day of the final ascent. As the summit moves ever closer, the team set off for the final camp, where they have some time to reflect on the task ahead of them.
Today is day 5, you know, and we've had a long, it's been a long 4-hour trek. We've got here quite early. We've been told that we've got a rest during the day. There's a 5-6 hour rest, and then we're going to start for the final climb, midnight tonight. You know, so I think they're preparing us for that.
It's going to be about a 5-hour trek up to Stella Point, and then from there it's another 1-hour trek to Uhuru Peak, which is the highest point of Mount Kilimanjaro.
It ain't going to be easy. You know, the guides have told us it's going to be very hard, and usually most people stop at this point. You know,
going through what we've been through already, he's quite worrying. Will we make it to the top? Won't we make it to the top?
Regardless of what point we get to, we should be proud of what we've achieved so far, and whether or not we make it to the top, we should just be really happy with ourselves.
It's been a long 5 days, and it's been really tough, you know, emotionally. So with each step, you know, mentally, I'm thinking about things, and to me it's just like, yeah, I've got this far, let's just do this, you know.
And I'm really looking forward to you know, jumping up on top of that mountain.
As the wintry conditions come down over them, they pray for one final time and get some rest, ready for their final challenge.
It's just about hitting midnight. We're ready to embark on our next bit of the adventure up to Stella Point. It's kind of sad that it's coming to the end, but at the same time I know everyone's happy and everyone's ready to reach that final bit.
I remember waking up on Friday night. It was probably about 11 o'clock at night. I think we were all geared up as a team, knowing that it was going to be a big challenge, but I don't think any of us envisioned the challenge that we had ahead.
Shall we?
Hours into the final ascent, and the conditions push the team to their limit.
After climbing for maybe an hour and a half, sort of fatigue started kicking in, and everyone in the team started complaining about, you know, feeling really tired, lethargic, and just wanting to sleep.
It's really exhausting. This is the most tiring thing I've ever done in my life. It's the most challenging day. Conditions aren't great, I can hardly see.
Feeling good, but it's tough, very tough at the moment. It looks like we've got a long way to go yet.
Dawn on the mountainside, and the team finally get a glimpse at the top of the mountain, but their goal is a long way off yet.
As soon as the sun came up and we were looking, and still so much more to climb. Mentally, that had a massive effect on all of us. I don't think we could really take it.
Every step taken was as if I don't know, life was being sort of sucked out of me. It was so difficult, it really was.
Within the blink of an eye, the altitude hit me, and I've never felt so completely lethargic, so out of it in my life. I mean, I couldn't physically move, there's nothing I could do.
I was hallucinating, seeing things, you know. I kept saying to them, let me sleep for about an hour, you know, please just let me sleep and I'll carry on. And they say, no, you know, you die with the cold.
It's as if the mountain is kind of willing you to fail.
One stage, the tour guide said to me, it's too late, you're not going to make it, just leave it. And that's when I literally slumped on my stick and tears rolled down my face, and I thought, this is it, I've failed, I've let down my family and friends, and more importantly, I felt that I'd let down Hamad, and for the next 15 to 20 minutes I just ploughed away walking up this mountain.
It was so much more difficult than I'd imagined, but by hook or by crook, we got there in the end.
It's 9 AM on the crater's edge, and the first signs of the team can be seen as they make their final push.
When I finally reached the summit, it was almost as if I've been there before, because I have so many dreams of it, just standing there on top, looking down and thinking, you know, I've made it.
I felt a sense of accomplishment, number one, but also a sense of relief, because that sort of hard struggle that was going on for the last 6-7 hours had finally come to an end.
It took a lot longer than I thought, and it took all of my energy. So hitting that final point, it put everything in perspective. I mean, all I could think about were people or friends in my head, people who have donated. I was just like, you gotta make it, so you gotta make it.
I remember before I'd started, I was saying, yeah, I'll get to the top of the mountain, I'll plant my flag, and you know, it's going to be easy, but I'll eat my words. You know, it was really, really hard. You know, I never imagined it would be that hard.
Members of the group were saying, let's go to Uhuru, which is further up, which is the actual summit.
From the crater's edge, those with the strength push onwards to the summit of the mountain, Uhuru Peak.
Amazing sense of achievement once I reached the top. I mean, all of a sudden everyone just grabbed hold of one another, cuddled, there was emotions, people were crying.
It was great, it was amazing, it was what we set out to do. I think a lot of people at home will be proud of what we've achieved.
Reaching the summit was not just, you know, hours of work, but it was weeks and months of hard work that had gone into that. So reaching that summit was just a sense of elation, knowing that as a team we'd all achieved it, knowing that we hadn't let down any of our friends, our family, our sponsors, our donors, anyone who had sort of, you know, pushed us and encouraged us to climb, knowing that as a team, all 13 members who set out on that day actually reached the top of the mountain.
The following day, the team gathered to say thank you to the porters who helped them up, to get their certificates and to reflect on what they have achieved.
It's been a journey, it has been a journey. I know that all that effort that I put in, all the support back home with friends and family, it's actually going to manifest in some, you know, contributing to other people's lives and making a change, making a difference, and that was the whole point of the trip.
I just kept thinking about sort of the kids, the unfortunate kids that don't have the luxuries I do, and this is why I'm doing it, is just to give them that helping hand, that chance.
It's thinking about all the children around the world that this is going to benefit. I mean, I've been to places, I've seen the conditions that they're in, and knowing that what we've done is really going to benefit them.
So I want to be an example to other young Somalis out there who think that just because their country is in civil war and nothing can be done, that doesn't have to be the case.
And I think the hardship that we went through also in some ways showed the hardship that other people are feeling in different parts of the world. And for us it's just a few days and then you're back to your normal, but for them it's a daily routine.
One of the main things I want to come away with this is the fact that this can still bring more donations in, people still contribute towards it. You know, they can look back and think, well, you know what, he did it.
With Hamad, it's I hope that, you know, my small humble efforts will help him in some way whatsoever.
That strength as your team, strength within yourself, strength for doing this, strength from the people that have given you everything to make this happen, and strength for you to carry on after this and help.
Kilimanjaro, 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 mimamrefu sana. Na mawenzi, na mawenzi, na mawenzi, na